Hello, seedlings. Hi, Andy.
Hello, Summer. Welcome back, seedlings, saplings, treelings, and everyone else.
Yes, to spring-ish, winter-ish, summer-ish, not, I don't know.
It's
Western New York nonsense.
Supposed to be spring.
Yep.
Looks like winter, feels like fall. It's terrible.
Doesn't feel like fall. Fall is a great feeling.
Oh,
It
that's
makes
it.
me want pumpkin spice. I don't feel that way at all. Just
No.
feel angry.
Yeah, I was going to say, it just makes me feel irritated. This is a very true statement.
All right, so we're going to do some basics-ish.
We're doing basics. Let's do it.
All right, seedlings, we're going to go to Mark 16, very last chapter. Well, we'll just read it and then we'll talk about it. So, go to Mark 16. Okay, Jesus comes back, obviously. He dies, comes back, and has to go through a whole bunch of yelling at the disciples because they didn't believe that he was there and all the things. So that's what's happening. And then he tells them, about the Great Commission that we talk about and what they're supposed to do. So in verse 15, he says, "And he said unto them, Go ye into all of the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned." So
Yes.
yeah, no pressure. No, there is pressure. There should be pressure. So, what I wanted to talk about specifically is I think there's a lot of confusion around this verse because he says, "He that believes and is baptized shall be saved." And I think a lot of people get all, I feel like the word believe is just like this, mystical question marky, everybody's got a different version of that, right?
Right.
Believe, I this and that. And you could say you believe and no one can really prove or disprove that because it's a kind of a feeling in a state of mind, a state of heart. But baptized, you can stamp that and time it and you can prove it. So I think a lot of people try to cling to the baptism part. And I've seen a lot of people that are just like, "I'm saved, I'm baptized." And they go by this. So, I want to clear this up for our seedlings who may be confused by, we say, it's just Jesus, it's just Jesus. We say, don't say Jesus plus, don't say Jesus plus. And then Jesus comes out and kind of says Jesus plus. That's what it looks like anyway. So, how can we clear this up for them?
Well, I think, again, it has, from the very beginning, it was Jesus' intent for an outward profession of an inward confession.
Right.
So it was always, Jesus sent them out by twos, said, "Hey, listen, you need to go out and do these things, right? You need to go out and tell people about me. You need to be about me." So there's always been this whole concept of profession of Christ. The problem is we have these tremendous swings, right? In the early church, the profession part was super important. You really were not considered to be a Christian until you did an outward profession, until you were baptized.
Right.
In modern day world today, in other places, that's exactly how it is in Iran and in Syria and Iraq. And you're not a Christian until you get baptized.
Yeah.
Right? But now we've flipped the whole thing, and now we're worshiping the confession part and profession part, and not really looking at how important it is to believe, right? That belief is the foundation. You can't have a baptism without the belief, right? And have it be meaningful and have it really stick and have it be something that God's going to represent.
I think if you tie this together with the James stuff, with the faith without works is dead, it makes more sense because it's not an act. And when James talks about works, it's not about doing things, right?
Yeah.
It's about the faith producing the works.
Oh,
And I think that tying it together with the verse before it is key for me because I feel like it's bookended, right? I feel like he's saying, yeah, you have to believe, but that's great for you and me, whoever he's talking to, right? That's great for us. That's great for you, but that doesn't help anybody else. Like I said, if these guys didn't listen to the go and spread the gospel or the being baptized part, then no one would know about Jesus, right? It's all great for them if they go to heaven, but if they don't tell anyone, to me this is about like, don't be a secret Christian. You can't go and preach the gospel if you're not willing to be baptized. It's like the same thing. You're essentially doing it in your baptism. You're telling people, like, here's the truth. I believe this to be true, so I'm doing this just to show you that I believe it. It's not get baptized and you're saved.
So I love what you said there.
But I don't think you're really saved if you're going to keep it a secret.
Right. So
you know,
you have both extremes. You're either going to be a secret. You have the opportunity to be a secret Christian. Yep, I believe, but I'm not going to tell anybody I believe.
Right.
And you have the opportunity to be a fake Christian, right? I don't believe, but I'm going to make everybody believe like I believe, right? So that I can fit in or do whatever I want. You have both extremes. There are lots of people who have been baptized. I may have been one of them who had no business being baptized at age 13. Like there's a class. Do you believe in Jesus? Yep. Do you think Jesus is your personal savior? Right. Well, yep, type of thing. I mean, you're just going through the motions, right? Now, again, there are some churches that do this super well. They go through a baptism class that's really going to point out whether you're saved or not, right? They really, really, really do that. But for most places, it's more like the eunuch with Philip, like, hey, I heard about God, and I want to believe in Jesus now. How come I can't get baptized now, right? And we do this thing, or sometimes I think we baptize and people don't even know what they really believe.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I think you're spot on for our seedlings, right? This is a basic concept.
Right.
They go together. Jesus never intended them not to be together. It's why he put it together, right? Listen, go out, proclaim the gospel, and to those who actually are going to believe in me, ask them to profess that they believe in me.
Right. So basically, seedlings, getting baptized means nothing until you do something with it. It's the same thing. Same thing as all of these other concepts and all these other things in the Bible. They don't mean anything unless they really mean something to you and they're real. Like,
yeah.
We kind of look at people and we kind of know when it's fake. We kind of know when it's a show. We kind of know, and God certainly knows. I mean, it is far more important because the Bible also says, like, no matter what my intentions are, if I'm preaching the gospel is being preached. That's good for whoever is hearing it, but not so good for me maybe if I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. So, don't focus on the baptism. Focus on the believe part. Focus on the loving God part enough to want to spread the gospel. Loving God enough to want to be baptized. Loving God enough to want to tell and show everybody in every way possible. And doing all the works that come from that and all the things that's what comes out of it. It's not about, don't cherry pick the verses. Don't listen to the people that cherry pick the verses. You got to know, we say it all the time, you got to know God. You got to know all of God. That means the New Testament and the Old Testament. You got to know all the parts of God. And then you read something like this and you'll get it. It won't be confusing to you if you read your word and you pray and you know God. You'll understand what he means. So.
Yeah, you have to have both parts. You have to confess and profess. They cannot be separated.
Yeah, can't be a secret.
Right. No, and James and Paul talk about that, right?
Because if you were truly saved and you truly knew what it was all about, you would never want someone else to go to hell.
There you go. Perfect.
And you would do everything you could to make sure that they knew and discovered what you found.
Sounds like a great topic for another Seeds.
Yes.
Do we want people? Do we really want people to go to hell?
Ooh. All right, guys. Come back next week to see us in the same outfits.
Ooh.
We love you guys. Have a great week.